What's up, everybody? Welcome to some Sultai Vengevine. Hope you're ready to get your graveyard going, man. Get some nice little Hedron Crab triggers going. Maybe get a nice little angry Vengevine popping out of the graveyard. Ooh, as far as opening hand goes, yeah, this is pretty good. I mean, we've got Hedron Crab. We're going to be banking on Hedron Crab, but we've got 3 fetch lands. And then we have an Archamoeba to cast out, but yeah, we'll keep on this one. Hopefully we kind of draw into something good for our opening hand, maybe a nice little Glimpse of the Unthinkable or something like that. But yes, welcome to some Sultai Vengevine. Looks like we're playing against Tron, or maybe Eldrazi Tron, some flavor of that. Alright, let's see what we draw into, and then I'll kind of give you a quick little, draw into a second Vengevine. This is not exactly what you want. Let's go ahead and shock the Watery Grave in. Yeah, we're going to pay 2 on this one. Yeah, we want our Vengevines in the graveyard. So, if we do draw into Lot with Troll, that would be a really good way for us to discard those cards into the graveyard and make sure we get that nice little hasty action out of the graveyard. But yeah, welcome to some Sultai Vengevine. Why are we running Sultai over any sort of red version of Dredge or Vengevine? One of the main reasons that we're doing this is because of Hedron Crab. We're running Hedron Crab in here, awesome utility card for the deck. It turns all over. We're running a lot of fetch lands in here to make sure that we stay online for our colors. And so, drawn to Urborg. Alright, so let's go. We're going to need to make sure that we have double green. So let's go ahead and get down Catacombs. So we're going to send the Hedron Crab over at us. Let's go on in response to that Hedron Crab trigger. Let's go and pay 1 life. We're going to crack in response to make sure that we don't mill away one of our green sources. And then do we want to pay 2? Now we're going to let's hold on to Archamoeba. We're getting to the spot now to where we can, we do have double Vengevines in the hand, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can use Archamoeba as another way to kind of enable our graveyard. Alright, we're going to go and pass it over. Hedron Crab cannot swing in. But yeah, we're mainly running blue in here in the Vengevine deck in place of Faithless Looting and stuff like that. So we have Hedron Crab. It works really well with fetch lands. You can get down your fetch lands, and basically you're making your land drops to get 6 cards into the graveyard. Outside of that, we're running our Glimpse of the Unthinkable. Target player puts the top 10 cards of their library into the graveyard, which is always a lot of fun to get that cast. And then we're also running Breaking and Entering, which is target player puts the top 8 cards of their library into the graveyard. Alright, so at this point right now, we could dredge Life from the Low. We're going to have 6 going in the graveyard with Hedron Crab. Let's not dredge because we need there we go. We need another 1-drop creature to complement our Archamoeba. So if we can get any sort of, now we can get online to start dredging. So we're going to put in the Polluted Delta. Actually, we'll go Marsh Flats. Send that over here in response. It's going to crack the Marsh Flats and make sure we grab that second green source. Grab that Overgrown Tomb. Do we want to shock it in? I mean, if we hit another Vengevine, we might end up going for that. Yeah, we'll go and go for that. And the cool thing about Gravecrawler, our opponent does have Chalice of the Void out there. If we do hit a Vengevine out of the graveyard, it doesn't really matter what... oh, and we do hit a Prize Amalgam. Beautiful. See if we hit anything else. Ooh, we hit 2 Prize Amalgams. Okay, so let's go and go Archamoeba. The thing with Chalice of the Void, it's going to counter Gravecrawler, but all Vengevine cares about is if you cast your second spell this turn. No matter if it resolved or gets on the battlefield. So we're going to get those triggers on the stack, which is really nice. Alright, Chalice of the Void trigger. It's going to counter that spell. Here comes Vengevine. And then we're going to get 2 Prize Amalgams out of the graveyard once Vengevine pops back out. And then next turn we'll be online for the Urborg to get that down, and we can just simply hard cast one of our Vengevines. Now, I don't think we've seen Lot Troll, but we are running Lot Troll in here, and so that's a really good way for us to kind of discard our... it's a really good way for us to discard our multiple copies of Vengevine in the hand. Alright, so let's go and swing in for 4. See if we're going to get the block on the Matter Reshaper. They will get that trigger coming across, but we're okay with it at this point. Alright, see what happens. Off the reveal. Urza's Tower. Okay. And that turns on Tron for them. Alright, I'm sure they're happy about that. And then we get 2 Prize Amalgams onto the battlefield. So hopefully we're going to be able to survive whatever sort of Tron's coming across over there. We did see the Eldrazi, so it looks like it is Eldrazi Tron. So hopefully we can kind of outrace that. If not, then we can kind of sleeve this one up and go over to game 2. And we are running a few copies of Pithing Needle to kind of stop any sort of Relic of Progenitus action. I'm not sure if our opponent would be having Grafdigger's Cage in there or anything like that, but if they're banking on Relic of Progenitus, we have a few copies of Pithing Needle on the sideboard if we ended up if we lose this one. But yeah, that was pretty gnarly hitting the Matter Reshaper for their Urza's Tower. All right, all his dust gets cast, which is not too bad. We can still hardcast Vengevine. Once we get those, if we can just find a way to find another 1-drop zombie. Actually, it's not going to be on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and dredge Stinkweed Imp. Okay, another Prized Amalgam. Now we're going to be able to make the land drop and get the Blood Gas coming back out. So let's go and get down Urborg. Get the Bloodghast coming back. That's going to bring back the 3 prized amalgams. And that's what we do have Narcomoebas and Bloodghast for. Is to kind of allow us to, if we can't get Vengevine going, it does allow us to get those prized amalgams coming back with something as simple as just like a nice little graveyard as a just making a land drop. All right, let's go for Vengevine hardcast. The cool thing about Vengevine is if it's coming out of the graveyard or hardcasting, it still has haste. So we'll be able to get in for 4, put our opponent down to 16. And then anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. So we're going to get those prized amalgams coming back out. That's going to be 3, 6, 9. That'll be 11, and that'll be 15 coming across next turn. So we're going to put our opponent down to 1 if they don't have any sort of answer. We'll see what they're going to, as far as their pay, if they have any sort of payoff card. They only have 3 cards left in the hand. But at least we can still kind of make it a little bit more complicated by hardcasting a Vengevine coming across next turn. But yeah, you can see where, instead of running red in here with the Fates of Saluting, sometimes it's nice to run, the red versions of the Dredge are nice, obviously, but I always enjoy playing Sultai. It's always a lot of fun. And, alright, so we got a Thought-Knot Seer coming down. We're going to be able to exile a card. More than likely, we're going to see Vengevine get exiled on this, or at least I would assume on that. But I think we're still just going to go ahead and push on this one. Do we have any dredgers? We do have Life from the Loam out of the graveyard. Do we want to go for that? Now, we do have 1 Vengevine out of the graveyard, and we have 1 Gravecrawler. And we do have a zombie on the battlefield in Prized Amalgam. Now, Chalice of the Void's out there, but we can still cast it out of the graveyard. So what we can do is we can simply just hard cast Stinkweed Imp, get that on the battlefield, and then cast Gravecrawler out of the graveyard and then bring back Vengevine. So we've had 1 Vengevine exiled, so we'll probably still go and dredge Life from the Loam. That way we can see a few more cards and kind of go from there. Alright, opponent gets down to Endbringer, deals 1 damage to target creature or player, can attack or block, and then 2 colorless, draw a card. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and hold off on our Bloodghast trigger. That way if they do block on Bloodghast, we can at least go for Polluted Delta and kind of bring it back. Let's go and dredge Life from the Loam. Alright, Gurmag and Loutlet Troll were the dredge options on that. Let's go ahead and go Stinkweed Imp. Well, actually, we can just go ahead and just... Well, no, actually, I do like Stinkweed Imp on this one. With that, if they do decide to swing in, we can at least kind of deal that delayed combat damage. And let's go ahead and go Gravecrawler. Alright, Chalice of the Void is going to take care of Gravecrawler, but we're at least going to get that second Vengevine out of the graveyard. So right now, we've got 4, 8, we've got 13, we have 15 coming across. Let's go and just push in on this one. We're going to see at least double Vengevine blocks on Vengevine, I would assume, from our creatures. So if they do go for that, then hopefully we'll be able to draw a card off Thought-Knot Seer. If not, then they're going to block on Prized Amalgam, and then we can start swinging in like that. Okay, so we got a block like that. That's going to be 5. Alright, puts them down to 4. And then Gravecrawler does have haste. Let's go ahead and let's get down the Polluted Delta. And I think next turn we should be in a good spot because we still have double Gravecrawlers out of the graveyard. They're like sticking in the graveyard because of Chalice. So if they don't get any sort of another like All Is Dust or something like that, then they'll definitely be able to kind of take this one away. And then even if they do want to swing in with Thought-Knot Seer or Endbringer, we do have Stinkweed Imp to kind of block and kind of keep that from coming across. Endbringer's only going to be dealing 1 point of damage, so that's what it is. But yeah, as far as the deck goes, we're running Breaking and Entering and then Glimpse the Unthinkable. Those are our graveyard enablers, and man, it always feels good. Glimpsing yourself for 10, that's one of my favorite things to do in Magic. I don't play a lot of Sultai Vengevine, but... It's actually one of the few paper modern decks that I own, so I'll take it up to Friday Night Magic every once in a while, and just, I don't know, there's something really magical about glimpsing yourself for 10. Your opponent has this look on their face like, what's going on? And then they realize it's Vengevine, and it's like, okay, yeah, this ain't so good. Alright, opponent's getting down a Walking Ballista. Enters battlefield X counters, so they're going to be able to remove 4 counters off that. Deal 1 damage to, okay, coming up top. And that'll be 4 if they want to. I guess I'm confused on that one. They're going to have 4 blockers, but I guess maybe, I don't know. Oh, it untaps each turn. Excuse me, man. I forgot about that. Okay. Draw into Hedron Crab. Alright. So let's see if we can unleash some stuff. Let's go ahead and let's go Hedron Crab. Well, excuse me, it's going to be Chalice of the Voided, so we can't get that on the battlefield. So right now our best bet is just simply just go double Gravecrawler out of the graveyard to get back that second Vengevine. So let's go and do that. I forgot about. I mean, I do Chalice of the Void, but when I see Hedron Crab, I get really excited. One of my favorite Magic cards. All right, cast it again. There'll be another Chalice of the Void. There'll be another Vengevine coming out. And then on this one, I think we're just, they have 4 blockers on the battlefield, and then we should, yeah, I think either way we swing it, we should be able to kind of close this one out. You know, they might be able to kind of Walking Ballista their way out of this one. But I think we're, okay, let's see, we swing in, send the whole crew, they'll have to kind of get rid of some Walking Ballista stuff, Inbringer on the back end. Yeah, we'll go and trade on this one. You know, they're going to have to get rid of all of our zombies, so they'll have to get rid of both the prized amalgams. If not, something happens to the Vengevines, then we can still have a Gravecrawler out of the graveyard. And then we still have Hedron Crab, so if we draw into another land that way, then we can kind of go from there. So let's see if they're going to declare a blocker on Walking Ballista. They can blast the Bloodghast out of the graveyard. I mean, blast it off the battlefield. Okay, that will be a Matter Reshaper trigger that they're going to get. And then Reality Smasher. So off the Matter Reshaper. So we have Reality Smasher coming in. That's going to be 5 coming across. Ooh, bummer. Let's go and get down Hedron Crab. Well, no, excuse me. Hedron Crab's going to get Chaliced on that one. Yeah, so they do have... bring those prized amalgams back. Yeah, with the Reality Smasher on top. I think that's going to be it on that one. Yeah, Reality Smasher coming out. We're completely tapped out. Yep, got it, man. Good. Shift this one over to game 2. We tried on that one. All right, let's go bring in the Pithing Needles, because we're going to have to watch out for the Relic of Progenitus. And then what do we want to cut on this one? Let's go down on 1 Stinkweed Imp. Let's go down on 1 Breaking In and Entering. Let's go down on 1 Lot Troll. All right, shift this one over to game 2. All right, welcome back to game 2. All right, let's get the chat closed out. Yeah, this is good. Pithing Needle, Relic of Progenitus, then Hedron Crab on turn 1. I like that. Now, do we want to... If we crack right now, get down... Yeah, actually, we'll go and keep on this one. Let's go and go of Marsh Flats. And then I thought about going for Hedron Crab first, but you do have some explosive games where sometimes you get a quick little Vengevine, and we can go Hedron Crab and then Gravecrawler next turn. So if we... Well, actually, if we go Hedron Crab right now, then we go double Diregraph and Gravecrawler next turn. We'll be online for double black. Or we could just go Pithing Needle. Let's go Marsh Flats. Let's go and get down Hedron Crab. Since we do have 2 other 1-drops, I think we'll be okay with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's get the Watery Grave into place. Let's go and shock that in. Let's go for Hedron Crab. This is a really good opening hand. We have Hedron Crab, we have Breaking and Entering, we do have Pithing Needle to get down. Let's see if our opponent has Relic of Progenitus out there. Or if they don't, then they kind of get some sort of, Planeswalker on the battlefield. We can go for Pithing Needle on that. And then we'll see what they're going to go for. But at least at this one, we can go and get down the Marsh Flats, get some nice little milling action going. And then, if it looks good, we can go for Diregraph and Gravecrawler. Alright, so let's go and go Marsh Flats. Let's go and send that trigger to us. In response to that, let's go and crack the Marsh Flats. Let's go and grab an Overgrown Tomb. And then we don't know, we're going to go and shock it in. We don't know exactly if we're going to use it just yet. If we do hit Vengevine, we're going to go ahead and roll out Diregraph and Gravecrawler. Keep our fingers crossed. Ooh, we do hit a Vengevine. Alright, so let's go and go for it. Let's go Gravecrawler. And let's go and go Diregraph Ghoul. So that's going to bring back the prized amalgam. Then it's going to bring the Vengevine back out. So we're going to be able to swing in for 4. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Prized amalgam will come back at the end of the turn. Here comes our Diregraph Ghoul. Alright, we've got a nice little board state developed. Alright, let's go and swing in for 4. Coming in hot. I'll put our opponent down to 16, and then we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. So, and then we're getting prized amalgam back at the end of the turn. So, it's turn 2. We've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 points of damage on the board. So, we're at least going to be able to swing in for 11 next turn. We might even let Hedron Crab come across. But yeah, during game 1, we could have, maybe I could have held off and not swung in at that point right then. But, if you're playing against... Relic of Progenitus. It's a little too late on that one. But yeah, when you're playing against Eldrazi Tron, a lot of their threats are a lot better. We have a lot of recurring graveyard threats, and so, if we hold on for a bigger Alpha Strike, it wasn't looking that good. So maybe I could have attacked differently on game 1, but I like being aggressive with this deck, and sometimes that just happens. So, alright, let's go ahead and let's go Relic of Progenitus, I think, before we go for Hedron Crab trigger. I think I like that. Let's go Pithing Needle. Yeah, let's go Pithing Needle. Naming Relic or that way, if they want to crack, they can get rid of our lands, which is not really going to do much, and that way it'll kind of help us kind of protect the stuff out of the graveyard. You know, we could hold on to it if we wanted to maybe kind of protect against some sort of planeswalker. Actually, now that I think about it, we could go Expedition Map if we want to get a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Expedition Map. Sorry, I tried to type it in that I don't want to. There we go. Let's go Expedition Map. That way it kind of cuts off any sort of action they're going to have. Let's go Dark Slick Shores. It's going to be 3 coming across at us. Ooh, double Vengevine. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and go Breaking on Us. That's going to be black and then blue, not double blue. Okay. And then we do hit a Gravecrawler out of the graveyard. Alright, let's go and swing in for send the whole crew in. Let's hold off on Hedron Crab, just in case our opponent some sort of hasty option coming across. Okay. Put our opponent down to 5. Anything else for the turn? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. So, we do have double life from the loam out of the graveyard. We do have at least 1 Gravecrawler on the battlefield with at least 3 zombies on the battlefield. So, if we do dredge life from the loam, and then we dredge at least another zombie or another Gravecrawler, we can cast that out of the graveyard. We have a few other live draws as far as bringing back these other 2 Vengevines. We do have Gurmag Angler, which can kind of delve some stuff away. Okay, opponent scoops it up, get a nice little turn 2 board state developed. Hedron Crab, man, puts in some work. I love it. Anything else we want to change? I think I kind of like the way we, argument could be made for Stubborn Denial, kind of going for the All Is Dust, but I really like the spread that we have right now. So we'll just go and send this one over to send it over to game 3. Okay, we are back to game 3. Now, as far as our opening hand goes, this is good. It's not bad, but we don't have any sort of Relic of Progenitus to kind of help us protect against Relic. I mean, we don't have any Pithing Needle to protect against Relic. We do have 2 Graveyard Enablers in Glimpse the Unthinkable and Breaking and Entering. And we do have a fetch land. This hand would be just beautiful with a lot the troll, but yeah, we'll keep on this one. Hopefully we'll make it work. I mean, we've got Glimpse the Unthinkable. That really kind of opens our... We're looking about 18, 20 cards in the graveyard. They got the turn 1 Relic. Alright. So now when you're playing against Relic with a Vengevine deck like this, one of the things you want to do is not... if you can help it, make your graveyard not be as enticing as possible. So if we can somehow dredge into a life from the loam if we get lucky, or, hey, or you could just draw the Pithing Needle. Let's go ahead. Love it. Let's go and get down the Urborg. Let's go Pithing Needle, like we had in our opening hand the whole time. Let's go Relic of Progenitus. Alright. Pithing Needle on that. Anything else? Now we're going to go past turn. Oh, man, that feels good. Alright, so now... we don't have to play around Relic of Progenitus, but I'll still go and finish my statement. When you're playing around a Relic of Progenitus, if you're playing some sort of Vengevine deck or graveyard deck, one thing that you do want to do is you want to make sure your graveyard's not super enticing. Put them in a spot where maybe there's at least, this is going to apply to Sultai Vengevine. It may not apply to, actual Dredge or actual red-green Vengevine with the discard outlet. But as far as Sultai Vengevine, the way I like to play is you just want to slowly roll out stuff, try and get some nice little incremental value. All right, so let's go ahead and go Polluted Delta on this one. Let's go ahead and crack. We need to at least make sure we're online for Vengevine. At least, if we need to hardcast it, we want to get our green source before we start milling. So let's go ahead and grab Overgrown Tomb. Let's go and shock that in. Let's go ahead and go for Glimpse the Unthinkable on us. Oh, excuse me. I sequenced that wrong. We need blue to... go for Glimpse. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I got so rattled that we drew into Pithing Needle. So that was a mistake on my part. I do apologize. Sometimes I like to focus on my commentary, and then sometimes that kind of do little sequencing mistakes like that due to my commentary. And unfortunately, that's going to happen. And the only thing we're going to do is just try and kind of go from there. So, it is what it is. The mistake happened. So, next time we're looking at Watery Grave. We're going to be able to get that in. Then finally be online for Glimpse the Unthinkable. If we want to simply just hardcast Prize of Amalgam, we can go for that. Then slowly work our way towards double green off Vengevine. Yeah, hey, sorry about that. That happens. Drawn to Gurmag Angler. Alright, let's go and shock the Watery Grave in. Let's go and go for Glimpse the Unthinkable. Targeting us. It's going to be blue and then black. And then let's see if we hit any sort of Vengevine off of this. Because we do have Gurmag Angler, and then next turn, if we're online for... Alright, see what they're going for. Might be the Warping Whale. Okay, that's fine. We still have Glimpse the Unthinkable. We still have Breaking Entering for next turn. And then we still have Gurmag Angler, too. So actually, if we want to We can just simply go Bloodghast and actually get down. Well, actually, we're not going to be able to get down Gurmag Angler, but once we go for breaking and entering, then we'll be able to be in a spot where we can go Gurmag Angler and get that nice little 5/5 body on the battlefield. Now, as far as our opponent's deck, they don't really have any sort of they don't have their Tron online yet, but they do have a Reality Smasher, and that will be a nice little clog. So worst comes to worst, hopefully, what we can do, we can still go breaking and entering next turn and get down Gurmag Angler, and then we'll be able to at least kind of chump block on Reality Smasher. Alright, let's see what we draw into. Draw into Blooming Marsh. Let's go ahead and go Glimpse the Unthinkable. So we're going to put the top 8 cards of our library into the graveyard. And then, not a whole lot of action out of the graveyard. Double Outlet Troll. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the Blooming Marsh down. That'd actually be okay with our second Vengevine to go for. Let's go Gurmag Angler. It's going to go ahead and exile all of our spells first. Glimpse the Unthinkable. Exile 4 more. You know, at this point right now, we're just going to get rid of the Outlet Trolls. We don't have a way to recur them out of the graveyard. We do want to hold on to the Prize Amalgams, and we can also bring back Dread Wanderer out of the graveyard. So we'll just get rid of Hedron Crab. That way, and then we'll get rid of one land. Let's go ahead and get rid of... I think we'll go ahead and get rid of Polluted Delta. There we go. Alright, so get down Gurmag Angler. We're going to leave Dread Wanderer and Prize Amalgam in the graveyard. Prize Amalgam... If we can simply just return to the battlefield, that'll be enough for us to get that going. That's one of the unfortunate things is sometimes with the Surgical Extraction on Prize. Alright, you got it, man. So at least we still have a 5/5 body on the battlefield. And if they're going to go for Prize Amalgam, then, hey, it's okay with us. So they're going to be able to take it out of our hand, and then we still have Vengevine. We still have a hardcast Vengevine, too. So if we're able to trade Gurmag on Reality Smasher with only 2 cards in hand, maybe that'll be okay. And then choose a card, exile it, and then I think we only have 3 of those in the deck right now, so it's not the end of the world. You know, if they do take Vengevine, it's a little hard to kind of come back from them taking Vengevines because you know, Vengevine is such an explosive card. I mean, you're looking to make this really. That's one of the main differences between Vengevine, or at least Sultai Vengevine and Dredge, is that. With Vengevine, you're almost going for like an alpha graveyard strike. You want to just kind of get into spots where you're almost putting in 12 to 16 points of damage if you can dredge enough quickly. And then alright, Rally Smasher coming across. Just really do a really crippling strike. That's what you're going for. I'm okay trading on this one. Reality Smasher goes in the graveyard. There's 3 cards left on the graveyard. 3 cards left in their hand. Let's see if they're casting now. That will be... Walking Ballista. Okay, so we're going to be able to get down Vengevine, which we're okay with, because it's going to be able to kind of escape the them pinging us for 2. And then, you know, if that's their turn play, I'm okay with that. Let's go and get down Darkslick Shores. Do we want to go for that? Yeah, we can go Darkslick Shores. Let's go and go Vengevine. Now, if we swing in, yeah, it's going to push. They can push in for 2, then deal 2 damage, but I like kind of pushing in on this one. Let's go and push in with Vengevine. Puts them down to 14. Hopefully we can get a bigger clock going. If we can get him into that magical range of Bloodghast of having 10 or less life, then he'll have haste. And then you can definitely go Bloodghast Beatsticks. We still have Dread Wanderer out of the graveyard too for 3 mana. So next turn we can actually just simply cast Bloodghast, get on the battlefield, and then have that 3 mana to put it back on the battlefield. Next thing you know, we've got about 8 points of damage coming across, so we might be able to kind of push it our way. We do have to watch out for the Walking Ballista pinging some of our creatures, though. They'll be able to take care of Bloodghast and the Dread Wanderer, but at least they're both recurring threats that we can kind of keep on the battlefield. That'll be really hard for them to, you know, once they lose the Walking Ballista, they'll be good from that. Exit the town. We got another one for 2. Okay. Alright, so they're swinging in for 4, then so we're going to have to hold back on this one. Draw in 2 Marsh Flats. Let's go ahead and let's get the Marsh Flats down. So come back to the battlefield tapped. Let's go Bloodghast. Helps if we tap for double black on this one. And let's go and bring back the Dread Wanderer. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Alright, anything else? Now we're going to go past the turn. So, if they want to go for Walking Ballista, they can. They can at least send 3 over here. That's going to kill one of them. And they're looking to be able to get him for 1. We're going to hold off on Vengevine because if we don't, Bloodghast, if we swing it with Vengevine, then Bloodghast can't block. Then we're able to swing in for 4 and then take the 2 counters off and deal some nice little damage to us. So, that would not be exactly what we want to do for. Now, we do have Marsh Flats. We can crack the Marsh Flats. We do have, we should have at least... Yeah, we have at least one more Stomping Ground and one more Watery Grave in our deck, so we can recur Bloodghast. Endbringer. Okay, it's going to be something. Let's see what they're going to go for. See how they want to swing in. It'll be a little hard for us to push past that 5/5. Draw into Gravecrawler. Okay. Now this one, if we just swing in, we can bring back the Dread Wanderer. They're going to be able to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So that's 1 damage to us. That's going to be 4 from them. That's 5. We're looking at 5 from Walking Ballista. So even if we crack the Marsh Flats, that may be a little suspect for us. About our only hope is if we draw into like another Pithing Needle or something like that, we can go Walking Ballista and then kind of keep those from going for the activations. But then we still have to fight off a 5/5 body from swinging across. Let's go ahead and get down Gravecrawler. Alright, get down Gravecrawler. And on this one, we're just going to go ahead and hold off. I mean, we're not really in a position to push in on this one, so we're kind of maybe hoping that our opponent will make a mistake. And then I don't know, maybe we'll draw good and draw into that Pithing Needle like we did on turn 1. But yeah, you know, the deck's a lot of fun. You know, there are some reasons why Sultai Vengevine is not as popular as, or why somebody would want to run Faithless Looting with a bunch of like the Neonates and different stuff like that to kind of get the dredge going. But you will have some really explosive hands with this deck. If you have opening hand, Hedron Crab, Glincy Unthinkable, a couple zombie 1-drops, and you can really turn some power out on this one. But unfortunately, our opponent's getting down some Walking Ballista, kind of keeping us at bay with a bunch of little 2/1s on the battlefield, especially one of those 2/1s who can't even block in Bloodghast. Okay, Matter Reshaper's coming down. See if they're going to push in on this one. If they want to, they can slowly start pinging us away with the Endbringer, 1 damage target creature or player. Yeah, let's say they're just going to send it up top. Puts us down to 7. And if we end up going for the crack, puts us down to 6, then we're left with 2 life. So that with the Endbringer untapping during each other plays untap step, that's really going to be a pretty gnarly clock on us. So even if we wanted to kind of do some Bloodghast shenanigans with the Marsh Flats, it's just really going to kind of hurt us on that. Draw into a Swamp. It's not exactly what we want. Let's go get the Swamp down. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 damage. Puts us down to 2. Then Endbringer. I guess. But then if we swing in all, you know, we got Endbringer swinging in on the back end too. So yeah, I guess we'll just see if we can't hold on to another thing next turn. That way, you know, either way, we're going to have the Endbringer clock that's really going to pretty much probably close the game out for us. But at least we're going to try. Maybe we draw into another Pithing Needle where we can stop the Walking Ballista. Alright, puts us down to 6. And then actually, that'll put us down to 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have one more. Actually, 5. No, actually, excuse me. Yeah, they'll be able to close it out because it'll be Endbringer, tap right now, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then untap next turn. Yep, there we go. Alright, so they're going to get it. I mean, we could have swung in on this one, but we're going to be dead on the back end of some sort of swing in, and we're just not really in a position to where it's really going to help us. So even if we do go for the draw into Marsh Flats, hey, good game, man. Good game, buddy. Turned out some really nice power on turn 2, but unfortunately sometimes you have little clunky hands like this. So, alright everybody, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.